Welcome, foolish mortals. Today on the Disney Newsreel, the Leave a Legacy display at EPCOT has returned, and the Contemporary Resort is closing down some of their rooms for refurbishment. All that and more coming up today on the Disney Newsreel. So before I get into the news today, make sure if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And also make sure to leave a like and a comment and let us know how we're doing. Let us know what Disney news has been fascinating you recently. So there really wasn't a whole lot that happened this week, and so this should be fairly short, because I was only able to pick out about 3 stories to go over. But that's okay, sometimes we have slow news weeks. So first off, Disney has unveiled the first new Leave a Legacy display at EPCOT. So for those of you who don't know, the Leave a Legacy display was as you were walking into EPCOT, and you had just gotten past the entrance, there were these kind of stone monument things that lined either side of this main pathway, and there were some pathways in between as well, that had like pictures that people could take. I don't remember what year this was. It was right around the turn of the millennium, I think. But people could go to a special location and take a photo and have that photo put onto these Leave a Legacy stones, essentially, and have like some sort of caption put on them, like it was such and such family vacation 2002 or whatever it happened to be. And every time we walked past them, Anna kept telling me that she didn't like it because she felt like they looked like tombstones. And I kind of agree. Looking back at it, I definitely agree. They did look a little like tombstones. But as part of the EPCOT refurbishment, they took all of those Leave a Legacy stones out, and we weren't sure what exactly they were going to do with them, because the Leave a Legacy, they had always said, was going to go back in, but they just didn't have any information on where. So now we know. It is now outside of the park, so it's before you get into the entrance. As you're walking up, they have it's essentially a massive wall, and it's split into sections, and each section is numbered. So like if you want to look for your specific picture, you would they have like a special, I guess now, a special QR code that you can scan and to be able to search through the Leave a Legacy pictures that are on there, and it would tell you, oh, you are on tablet number 34 or something like that. And then I believe it would also tell you a row number, but I'm not entirely sure because I don't have one on there. And honestly, looking at the picture, this is going to be a lot better. They made the stones actually have color to them, so it's like a bright color from the new EPCOT color palette that they're using. And so they don't look as much like tombstones. It still kind of looks like a little like a memorial, but I mean, it's kind of what it is. It's a memorial to vacations past, I guess. But that has been put up, and it is just the first. They're going to put up more of them. So if any of you go to EPCOT now, stop and kind of take a quick look at those, and notice that there's going to be more of them lined up. I would have to go there again to see what the actual layout would probably look like, but this is just the first set of the display that they're going to put up. So, but that is starting to go back up, so that's actually really cool, and it doesn't look like tombstones. Secondly, we'll do the bad news right in the middle. The White House is considering a domestic travel ban for Florida with the rising UK strain of the coronavirus. So the number of cases of coronavirus in the state of Florida had been slowly declining. And Florida was one of the first states to open up, and so their cases kind of spiked at first, and now they'd kind of plateaued, and they've kind of started to peter out. The problem is that brand new strain of the coronavirus that came out of parts of the UK and South Africa, and I think there was one other location, have made their way over to Florida. And so in an attempt to keep that from spreading any further, it looks like President Biden is considering a domestic travel ban, so that you would not be able to fly into Florida from anywhere. As to whether this is going to happen, I don't know, but it's just something that if you are planning on taking a trip to Disney World anytime soon, that's probably something to keep in the back of your mind, because if that does happen, that might completely throw a monkey wrench in your entire operation. I know it would for us. Because driving from here, it would be about 28 hours, which we could do, except for the fact that we're going to have not only a 3-year-old during our next trip, but also our second child will be around 6 months old at the time-ish. Something like that. Depends on when he actually is born, because as of right now, he's still not born. And so, it's just, they're trying to keep that down, because while the number of cases have been declining, the number of the percentage of those cases that are that new strain have been going up. They're now at about 15% of all of the cases in Florida are that new strain. And so they're starting to get a little worried about it. And so they're trying to keep it contained within Florida. Because I guess screw Florida, I don't know. But that is just something to keep in mind. And last but not least, this is kind of exciting actually. The Disney website now lists the Contemporary Resort room remodel project. So it's still silent on what those rooms are going to look like as refurbished. So what has happened is Disney's Contemporary Resort, which for those of you who don't know is a resort that's literally within walking distance of the Magic Kingdom. There is a walking path that takes you, I think Anna and I walked that path in about 15 minutes between Contemporary and Magic Kingdom. We had gone to Chef Mickey's at the top of the Contemporary Resort to have supper on our first trip. Yeah, first trip. And then we were going to ride the monorail, but it was super crowded, so we walked back over and in order to get on the bus to go back to the resort. Because it was like 11 o'clock at night by that point. Yeah, it's about a 15-minute walk. So they are going to close down in April for refurbishment, it looks like. April of this year. And they're supposed to only be closed until September, which means that they're only going to be closed for about 5 months, so hopefully that's enough time for them to actually get some of these rooms done. And there had been speculation and rumors that the new remodeling of any of the rooms in the Contemporary were going to remodel it to be Incredibles themed, which I really hope it is. I would be super excited about that, because the Incredibles don't get enough face time in Disney World. They get a little more now in Hollywood Studios, because there's the Incredibles kind of section there for I can't remember the name of the town now, Municiburg. But other than that, they really don't have any representation in the parks, and they're not the only ones. But with how popular the Incredibles, both the first and second movie were, and how popular the characters are, I'm surprised. I would be really, really surprised if this remodeling doesn't end up being just an Incredibles paint job put on some of those rooms. Because they had closed down a couple of rooms, I guess, back in 2019. They'd closed down a couple of rooms and remodeled them and made them Incredibles themed, because they were kind of testing it out. And people loved it, and so I'm assuming what happened is that because people loved it so much, they decided to go ahead with a remodel project and remodel those rooms to be Incredibles. They had also tossed around the idea of making the Wave, which is I think it's kind of a bar and grill restaurant or something like that. It's up kind of by Chef Mickey's in the Contemporary Resort. And they had considered making that, what did they call it? It was going to be possibly going to be called the Incredibles Steakhouse. And so they had thought about just going a full Incredibles theme with the Contemporary Resort, which, not gonna lie, would be awesome. I would love to see that. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so they've closed down some parts of the Contemporary Resort and are working on remodeling it. So if you're wanting to stay in the Contemporary, it might be a little bit tight right about now. So, but anyway, like I said, it was a slow news week, so there's not really much else to report. So thank you guys all for joining me this week, and I hope that I will see you all again next week. But until then, don't forget to thank the Phoenicians.
Bye.